We good on the frame?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
I went from an alcoholic, bad person, someone on the verge of suicide, so close to suicide. I kept rounds of ammunition on my nightstand to show me how close, how easy it all was. It was all in my grasp to
Try again. It's fine.
It's just the hardest thing I've ever had to talk about. And I joke around all the time because I never want to feel the way I feel or I felt. And if you ever wondered why I'm so stupid, I guess this is it. I don't know really how to say, you know, I was going to kill myself. I wanted to do this for a very long time, but I never had the courage to do it. And just being able to say, hey, I'm going to kill myself, that is like, no, now I see that's the coward's way out, but then it was, imagine everything. Just, I mean, I had nothing to live for. I had nothing. And now, I mean, you don't know how to compare it. It's just, I don't talk about it for a reason. Maybe if I talked about it more often, I'd be more comfortable doing it. But it's just really awkward for me because I'm a completely different person now. So, with that said, I will try it again. And my phone's buzzing and it's aggravating the crap out of me.
Here, hand me your phone, if you don't need to take that.
Last February, I was skirting the bottom of life and plunged through rock bottom. I started drinking too much and I started doing things I shouldn't do. I was a person you didn't want to involve yourself with or be around in any capacity. And so I realized this, I seen this in myself. So I decided I was going to take my life, commit suicide, made the plan, but there was only one contingency, and that was I was going to give God one last chance. So the only person I knew that was a Christian, that was a real Christian, that I could see was a real Christian, was Caleb. And so I texted him one day and asked him where he went to church. I was going to go try it, see what it was all about. And so, long story short, he called me later that day, and he said, hey man, I go to Calvary Baptist, I have a DNOW this weekend, it's a big college retreat, you should come. I said sure. I don't know why I said yes, but I was just ready and gung-ho to do it because this was my last chance. And because I had planned on committing suicide the Monday after the weekend, which was the day that the retreat was. And so Friday I showed up at the retreat. I was really close to not coming. But I ended up showing up. And so I went and met everybody, and then when I remember walking into the church, everybody was just so nice and welcoming, and like nobody really knew who I was. I'm sure they knew about me, but I walked in, just everybody was nice, and I went and waited. Church, the music started, and I felt something that I felt the connection. I could see the people worship, and that I was longing for something that they were doing that they had. And as the weekend progressed, I felt something just tugging that, like the being of me. And Saturday night, when the sex slavery skits were going on, I ended up in the gymnasium away from my group, and I sat down and I asked God, I said, show me you're real, because this is your last chance to save my life. And at that very moment, I felt something I've never felt before. Felt like I'm supposed to be here, I felt whole, that everything I'd ever done just didn't exist. So I sat there in the gym and I prayed for a while, and we ended up getting back to our guest house, and we ate dinner. We had our little study, and then when we were going to bed, Caleb asked me, hey man, where were you at all night? And I said, well, I was in the gymnasium praying. And he looked at me a little funny. He said, oh, that's cool. And so we're sitting there talking before we go to bed, and I tell him what had happened. That, like I said, I was in the gymnasium praying, and I told him that that next Monday I was planning on committing suicide if God didn't show me something, to show me that I'm supposed to be here, or show me that he was real, just show me something. And I told him, I said, I feel like I just had a conversation with God. And then Caleb asked me if I wanted to accept Christ, and I said I wanted to. And I prayed Caleb asked me if I wanted to accept Christ, and I said yes. And I accepted Christ at DNOW, February of last year, 2012. Big money.
Talk about where you went. I mean, like, kind of synopsize where you went from and where you ended up, and so basically, I started here a day ago or 2 days ago, and that kind of thing.
So on Friday night, on Friday afternoon, I went into DNOW, and an alcoholic, a jerk, someone you really didn't want to be around, on the verge of suicide, to forgiven, clean, a person with a reason to live, a person with a reason to wake up every day and just take a breath, smile, laugh. I kind of start that over because I feel like I did awful.
Yeah. Could you end it with "That's my DNOW story"?
Let's just say that's my God story.
Yeah.
Don't worry about DNOW. It happened at DNOW, but
That's how God changed my life. Yeah.
that's how God changed my life. And why? Make sure you say why before that point, but I'm just saying.
So I went from an alcoholic, raging drunk man